this. Good morning, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi, and boy, it's gotten a lot warmer here, and we are happy. So there was, my friend Mona came and captured 2 more of the slithery things off the front steps, even after Brian took about 4 of them, and Joe moved 1. There's going to be some more, hopefully before Mona goes to work this afternoon. If they come out, they're going to a relocation. And just in case anybody's worried, they are in their family groups in the wild. So today we're going to talk about another thing that Tristan and I did yesterday, which is play. And I know we've talked about playing with toys and taking time to play with your dog, but we're going to talk about play a little differently today, because what we did yesterday, which was so fun for this guy, was our agility course. I set up some of the jumps, I don't know if you can see them out the window, maybe a few, and our teeter, which is rickety and old and loud, but for some reason our teeter does not scare this dog, but the teeters at dog school scare the pants off of him, so we don't ask him to do it. It's just not fair. He's 10, he doesn't need to do a teeter, he can just run around and jump. So we went out and I had a couple of very small snackies, and he was so happy to run around and do his agility. We haven't done it in weeks because the grass was long, and you know, it was hot, and he just had so much fun yesterday. He was jumping over the teeter, running up it. We got the weave poles out, which he has trouble with the second one. Once he gets around that one, and I probably put them too close together. I don't really know where they're supposed to be. I should look that up. But he did the weave poles, and he just was having a good time. And you can see him slow down and try to think his way through the weave poles. And he does a pretty good job. And I don't teach that the way everyone else does. They put strings on either side so that the dog has to weave in order to get through. And it's a good idea to do it that way, but I worked with Karen, and my friend Karen Tyndall, hi Karen, who does dog dancing, and she taught it more like dancing, like go away, come back, go away, come back. And that's how I started it, and that's how Tristan does it. If I change it, he gets confused, and it's not worth it because we're playing. And what is play? The dictionary says it's intrinsically motivated activities done for pleasure or recreation. So that means intrinsically motivated. That means that's something that's coming from within you that you want to do simply to have pleasure and recreation. And boy, do we need that now. So much stress and tension and worry, going back to work, not going back to work, political unrest, racist unrest, protests, or there are too many people. I mean, there's just too much, and we can't take vacations because you have to quarantine and you don't know. You just can't make a plan. So there's a lot of stress in our lives. So to do something that's just for pleasure and recreation is a big deal. The little kid across the street was doing baseball and basketball. Now he's taking up badminton. I want to run over there and play with him. And one day I might, when the social distancing changes in a week or two, because I love badminton and I have a really good, I have several actually badminton sets. We have in Corgi land something called frapping. And people don't always know what frapping stands for, but I've learned that it's frequent random acts of play. FRAP, frequent random acts of play. And that's when your Corgi just runs around the house and is like, ruff, 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 and he's rolling on the rug. Tristan does this every day at lunch. On about the 3rd snacky that we get, he runs in the living room and he rolls on it and he scampers around. And if I had 2 Corgis, they'd be running together. And anybody with a Corgi has seen this happen. Corgis are playful dogs. They're smart. And I have not had every herding dog, but I've had a lot of experience with them, and I think a lot of them do frapping too, if they feel good. I mean, some of the ones, like German Shepherds, sometimes their bodies are so uncomfortable because of our horrible breeding of them that they don't play as much, but they still enjoy like a ball toss with like 2 bounces and a catch, 1 bounce and a catch, 3 bounces and a catch. I mean, dogs like to play. And one of the other things about play is that it occurs in all mammals that we've studied. We don't know. Other animals probably play too, and we don't know it. For all I know, the snakes are playing. And all of our studies have shown that it mostly occurs in young animals. And, you know, the leading thought in animal behavior for years until recently was that baby animals play to learn how to hunt, to learn pack dynamics. Those things may be true, but they play because it's fun and they're growing up and they need to use their bodies and they need to have emotional and mental and cognitive stimulation, and tussling around with your litter mates helps you get all those things. It's like going to school, only it's play, which is fun. And school should be play too. Kids should like school. You know, I was in Denmark and I got to go to an elementary school there for a week with a teacher that I was staying with. And those kids think school is play, and it's really fun for them to be there. And they do activities that are fun. And, you know, learning seems like work when you are frustrated and when it's too hard or it's not something you care about. And learning can be so fun. Like when I read these books, I have hundreds of around the house on dog cognition, dog behavior, relationships of people with dogs, and previous to that, all my horse books. You know, I love those books. That's play, but I'm learning a lot. I could get a PhD in dog behavior if I wanted, if there was a program. And also, I don't want to do behavior because it's all too Skinner based and things, and I think dogs are smarter than that. Most of the people doing good dog research aren't even in the field of psychology. So play, so important, and old animals play too. And a lot of people, when their dogs get old, they say, oh, he's old, he doesn't want to play anymore. But they don't want to play because they have pain in their body and discomfort in their joints. You just have to find a new way to play with them. This thing just died. It's been British saying, battery low, battery low. Anyway, so hopefully you can still hear me. Old animals like to play too, and if your older animal isn't playing with you, it's because he's got pain in his body, or what you're asking him to do. Like, you know, an older dog doesn't necessarily want to run and leap in the air and catch a frisbee, but if you roll a ball on the ground 10 feet away, he will gladly probably do that. And like I said, the bounce game, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, 1 bounce, dogs really like that game, and they can just sit in one place if they're a good catcher and do that. So play is so important, and this is another thing that dogs teach us, you know, to be able to find pleasure just for the sake of pleasure. Just playing tag, running around the yard with your dog is so much fun for you and them. And Tristan and I, we played stick yesterday in the yard. That was so much fun. We haven't done that in a while because the grass was too long and stuff was out there. But, you know, it was just such a good day for this little boy. And we could have had a walk with baby Corgi, but too much was going on at his house and my house, so we didn't get to do that. And those walks are fun too. The dogs are starting to really enjoy going out together and seeing each other. And I think when you see another dog of your species, it must be comforting. I mean, it's one thing, one of my friends, she's got a whole bunch of Corgis and a Schipperke. Now the Schipperke kind of looks like the Corgi, so it's not like he's living, you know, as a St. Bernard in that house. But he's a little left out, and they gang up on him sometimes, and she has to really pay attention to what's going on to make sure he feels included and that he's part of the group. And of course, I love Schipperkes because they are little black Corgis after all, and they're cute. But he's, you know, he's in a land with a lot of Corgis, and it's so nice for him when he sees another Schipperke. And when a Corgi sees another Corgi, or a Poodle sees a Poodle, or a Cavalier gets to meet another Cavalier, or a German Shepherd gets to see other German Shepherds. And even within your working groups, you know, herding dogs chase each other when they play. My mom's Schnauzer is in a different group, more like a boxer, and they kind of buffle each other when they play. And it's very different, and it takes a little while for a Corgi to learn how to play with a dog that's batting. So what Tristan did is what any herder would do who is short. He runs under the Schnauzer and bites her front legs and tries to herd her while she's batting him with her paw because they box like boxers. So, you know, when you get them together in groups that are similar to them, you know, if Tristan's with a Border Collie, and I'm sure Karen can verify this because she has Borders and Corgs, they just run and chase each other and play, and they have such a good time. And, you know, Tristan can do that to a certain extent with his terrier buddy, but she really has that kind of terrier nose. She wants to run around and look for things and, you know, I wish she could come over and do a sweep of my yard every other day because she finds stuff and she's really good at getting them. And I've thought about getting a Jack Russell myself just to have a terrier because I think I need a working terrier around my house. But, you know, it's not fair to Tristan. He wants a dog he can play tag with. And Russells are funny dogs. They seem really lively and active, but a lot of them are real couch potatoes. So I don't know how that would sit with Tristan. He does like them when we meet them. But anyway, so dogs tend to play similarly in their group. And a lot of the toy dogs, they play very little with each other. They like to play and sit on your lap and be with you because toy dogs were made to be with you. I mean, again, they'll do the ball game because that's with you. You're interacting with them continuously. When I throw a stick really far, it's all about Tristan and the stick. He doesn't care where I am. I mean, he is bringing it back to me, but when it leaves my hand, it's him and the stick. It's her, the stick. So take some time to play with your dog. Learn lessons from them about playing. Danny, by the way, he's wearing his Jerry Garcia tie today. I thought you might like it. My mom gave it to him for Christmas one year. And he's never worn it till today. It's got paw prints and bones and rainbows on it. I think it actually looks a lot like the wrapper on Cherry Garcia Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I think there's a background like that. So anyway, everybody take some time to play today. Either doing fun things for yourself, doing fun things with your dog, but don't forget the importance of play to relieve stress. And even if it's only for 5 minutes before you give your dog his dinner, just chasing him around the house or taking a squeaky toy and having him run after you out in the yard, these moments can really make a big improvement in your life. And there's been studies done that your immune system is boosted by play and that lightheartedness, and it can really just change everything. It certainly changes your brain chemistry, and depending on what you're doing, it can really improve your physical strength. So take time to play. Dogs are smart. They remind us of so many important things, and play is just one of them. So thanks for joining us today. Everybody have a great day. Oh, Danny likes your tie. He says, yeah, I'm groovy today. Thanks for joining us. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.